My expensive little dragon is growing like a weed, and I've been putting off upgrading her enclosure because a lizard that costs more than my first car did deserves an enclosure just as impressive as she is. But what if an impressive enclosure didn't have to cost 2005 Pontiac Sunfire money, but instead could cost remote control car money? Also, my two frilled dragons have grown way too big and started their own fight club, so today we're gonna make 3 dragon dwellings.
The problem is almost all 24 by 18 by 18s are exactly the same. A glass box that costs a fortune to ship because they don't come apart, and a screen mesh top that you have to drill into to offer any hydration, therefore mangling the enclosure that you just bought.
Until I found this thing. Enter Habitat.
This isn't a soulless advertisement, I promise. This thing's just awesome.
I reached out to my friends at Chewy, told them that Stitch needed a new enclosure, and this thing showed up at my door. It assembled in about 15 minutes. I set it up, put Stitch in there, and I asked the 3-year-old what he thought.
Better?
Seems like this thing is approved. But after about a month, the enclosure looked like this. Destroyed by this very active lizard, but more importantly, all the plants died because I couldn't keep the humidity up. So I reached back out to the homies at Chewy and told them about my problem. So they sent me this, and this. So it's time for us to fix our problems, but like I said, we've got 3 enclosures to build today, and I've got nowhere to put them. So I put on my safety shoes, I got some 2x4s, and we got busy making a rack. I planned it out, I got my tools ready, and I did it right. You know what they say, measure twice, cut once, then measure 3 more times because you have no confidence in your woodworking skills because your only gift in life is making strangers laugh and eating entire jars of pickles in one sitting, or however the saying goes. Anyway, wood affixed, corners enforced, destroyed scapes put onto it, and now it's time to make some more simple scapes that actually work. These animals aren't staying in here forever, but it does have to last 3 to 6 more months. And then they go into these things. Hit the subscribe button and we'll show you how we made these in a couple months. But we need hardscape to make these livable. So for that, we'll take a quick trip to the woods and get ourselves some sticks.
It's like the opposite of Bigfoot because he's so little. Definitely not Dave Kaufman. What you got there?
I think this is gonna be too big.
That's what she said.
Some people buy a truck for work. I buy a truck so I can bring sticks home. Great success.
We got a pretty sweet haul, and now it was time to bring home the box full of sticks, clean them off, and get ready to build. So we took the animals out, put them in boxes just for now, cleaned out the enclosures, cleaned the Leica balls for the drainage layer, put some screen on top, the substrate back in, and now they're blank slates. And after a simple hardscape, they're now functional, but they're not that pretty. And for that, we're gonna need
plants. But also I realized today's a holiday, so where am I gonna get plants?
Luckily, nothing shuts in a tourist town on holidays, so we found a greenhouse, looked around, and we got the plants that we need. It took us about an hour to plant these enclosures. Very quick, very simple, but I think they look good. The idea here is to keep them looking good for about 3, 4, 5, or 6 months until these animals outgrow these enclosures and need new ones. Also, it's important not to overplant them as the plants will grow, so they do look a little bit sparse now. And as I sit back and look at them, one really catches my eye. The one in the middle, the Habitat. This enclosure comes with blacked out sides and back immediately. Sometimes you put film on these enclosures and it falls off and looks flimsy, or sometimes you don't put film and you can see right through them, and to me that's less professional of a look. This enclosure comes right out of the box, ready to go, blacked out, which is super convenient for this application because the dragons on either side were trying to fight each other and chase each other around. So we're trying to keep them separated not only physically, but also visually so they can't see each other. So we put Princess Stitch right in the middle, the sides are blacked out, and nobody can see each other. But we're gonna have the exact same problem because we don't have the proper lighting or humidity to keep these plants looking good for the 6 months we need them to live. For that, we're gonna use Arcadia, a 4-foot Arcadia bulb over the top, 6.0, perfect for all of these animals. I'm gonna go buy 2 more for their forever homes, these guys right here that aren't complete yet, and more Habitat enclosures, and it's the perfect time. You can get 20% off of Habitat when you purchase any Arcadia product on Chewy.com right now. Just use the promo code Habitat20. But lights don't offer humidity, and that was our problem before, not only for the plants, but for the animals. And each of these species needs different requirements, which means we'll set up the two on the sides the same and the one in the middle a little bit different. An ultrasonic fogger is the perfect tool to offer ambient humidity at certain times during the day, in this case to simulate a jungle in Indonesia. Indonesian jungles are always humid, but the island of Bantanta, where you'd find a blue tree monitor like this guy here, they will be most humid during the night, during the dawn, and during the dusk, leaving a little bit of a dip in humidity during the middle of the day. And that is exactly what we're going to do with this item here, the Habistat ultrasonic fogger. Regardless of the fogger or the humidifier that you use, it's important to be able to program when it goes on or when it goes off. Whether that's smart plugs or having a system built in like we have here, we're going to make sure that it's humid at the right times, and that's what's going to keep our animal perfectly healthy. I noticed that with the fog streaming in at full blast the way I set it, it's really staying inside that enclosure, and it's dissipating really slowly through that lid, almost like they were designed to do this. This is perfect because it will keep it humid for as long as I want it to be, and for the times when there's not fog and I need actual mist to keep those plants hydrated, we've got a solution for that too. Misting systems simulate rain, and that's exactly what we need to keep these plants well watered without having to do it manually. It also helps keep the humidity up inside the enclosure. There's many ways to do this. You can get bigger systems that have many nozzles and a big reservoir like this one here, but for this instance and this enclosure, this is the perfect option. A rainmaker, a standalone unit that you fill up with reverse osmosis water so that the nozzles don't get gunked up. The tube goes right inside of the enclosure so we don't have to drill any holes in the top, suction cupped onto the walls, connected together, and now on both sides of the enclosure, it's spewing rain like a storm, exactly like you would see almost every single day during the rainy season in Indonesia. During my travels in Indonesia in the rainy season, I can tell you that the rain is sporadic and definitely not on any sort of schedule, but with this rainmaker, we're going to schedule it. We're going to make sure that during the beginning of the day, the end of the day, and once in the middle of the day, it gets a good rain inside this enclosure, and that way everything is wet but has a chance to dry out, and the fungus isn't going to start to grow rampant and cause issues for the plants and the animal. With some heat lights on top, I think it's time to put these critters back in their homes and see how they do. We'll shut the lights out for the night and check back in the morning. After their first nights in their brand new enclosures, the animals seem happy and hydrated. The morning dew glistens off of the brand new light. The fog has rolled in and rolled out, and at about midday you can see the change in these animals. The way they look, the way that they are basking, it seems like they found a home they can be happy in for quite some time. But this isn't the end of the story for the frill dragons or for the blue tree monitor. The frill dragons, Squeegee and Luigi, are going to get big, really big. Probably over 3 feet, and they're going to need a giant enclosure, and that is what we're going to build them. In 6 months, they're going to be evicted, and there will be new tenants inside these enclosures. And Stitch, affectionately Princess Stitch, is going to get big too. Probably close to 3 feet with that prehensile tail of hers. She's only going to get more blue, more friendly, and more fun to be around. She'll be featured on the channel a whole bunch moving forward, and the enclosure that she gets is going to be an absolute masterpiece.